friendships are tighter than blood. And here's why I say that. People that are my blood that I don't talk to anymore. Because they don't have access to me, because they didn't meet that requirement to be able to actually pour into me and be that type of person that cares about the world in the way that you should.
Jon Bebee, co-founder of Bebee's Bargains, a community of 73,000 families saving money every day. A Bills Mafia diehard, and a leader who spent 14 years mentoring 150 students a week. Not because it came easy, but because of what he lived through first.
You seem to get a lot of value out of how to help others.
I had a rough life growing up. I grew up in a very more abusive relationship with my family. And I never felt maybe that people were looking out maybe from my best interest. So I had to figure out how to meet them myself. Having that experience growing up, I became hypersensitive to other people. If you can give value to somebody's lives, you're never gonna be out of a job. I wanna help other people make good decisions too, to see their lives get into a better place. Because when that guy wins, that's gonna make the world a better place and we're all going to win.
How can you help people make better decisions? Oh, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, Kev.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
Man. I'm great. How are you?
Just having a great day.
That's
a
good.
Great day, yeah, 100%.
Good. Did you get a deal on the way in?
A deal on the way in. I mean, yeah, I got $8. You can go up and down the strip for $8 on their bus.
Is that cool?
The Vegas Strip. Yeah, it was sweet. Because I was going to do something else, like do an Uber to a restaurant I wanted to go to. Did $8 on the bus back and forth. It was all day you can, cruise the strip.
Oh, so you don't have to, taxis here are expensive too.
Well, and it's a double-decker bus, so it's really cool. So it's $8, or you can pay like 20 or 15 or 20 bucks for like 3 days.
No way.
And it goes to all 8 miles, the whole 8 miles of the strip. I was going to do something else, and the guy was like, you should just do that. It's faster even than an Uber.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
traffic's ridiculous. Normally, if you go on like the backside, they'll take you like the highway and then whip you back around just so that they could get you to the hotel faster. But it's still going to be 30 to 40 bucks.
100%. That's what GPS was doing too. So I was like, I got it for 24 hours, did it. And what's cool is double decker, you sit on the second floor. You can see a lot of Vegas too. So if you're new, you haven't been here much, you get to like check everything out. And it was really cool. I loved it.
So how would you compare Vegas to Disney?
Okay, so I was just talking to Lauren about this today. I said, trying to explain Vegas, other than a 7-hour layover I had here once, and I went over to the strip, was there for a few hours. Vegas reminds me of Epcot on steroids. So if you've been to Epcot, they have like the World Showcase where you can see all the different countries. Yep. And they have like Italy and France and everything.
I love Italy, but Epcot's nothing like that Italy.
So no, but they do import all of their stuff. So for instance, like if you have like gluten intolerance or if you have celiac disease, you can eat their pasta there, their pizza.
Seriously?
Because they import it. It's all the same as in Italy. Like the workers there are from Italy. They do this internship.
No way.
They do an internship program for college students where they can come over here and work there for like a summer or 2 summers. So they try to make it as authentic as possible. So when I say it's like now that part is not like here because I don't go into certain, maybe if I'm going into one of the resorts here, I don't know that they're all going to be from those countries, No.
I'm
not going to get somebody from all the people from Greece, if you're going.
No, not at all. But you are getting a melting pot of culture diversity with a bunch of fancy lights. Yes. I don't like the negative part of Vegas. Like there's a lot of stuff. I love gambling personally, but I'm not a party scene guy.
Exactly.
I don't need to do the whole thump. But I love good food. I love great shows. Yes. And I love, I enjoy the gambling, but I don't recommend it for sure.
I like people watching and just exploring. And
you want to people watch? This is the spot.
You people watch, explore. You can go anywhere. Like I feel like if you come to Vegas and you don't have a plan and you just want to go around and explore, you'll get lost for days and still have all kinds of places to explore. I was going through the different resorts today, a few of them, and it was really cool. A lot of cool people to talk to, people to meet. And I just thought Vegas reminded me of, now it's a daytime. So like I was out in Vegas in the morning hours, so I'm sure it's a little different. But that reminded me of being in Epcot, because Epcot, you get to see all these different parts. And I told my wife, I said, it's like having, and it's really the aesthetics. The aesthetics are like Epcot because you see like the Venetian and all, like they're beautiful. Yeah. And they do it up. Now, as far as like maybe the guest experience and customer service, it's probably not anywhere close to that. But at the end of the day, you got to know what you're coming into.
Yeah.
So
it's not my type of spot for sure.
No, but I think it's really cool. It's unique. It's not like any other country or any other city I've ever been in the country.
It is definitely in a league of its own for sure.
It's pretty cool.
But as I sit here and I get to talk to not just my friend, but what I would consider the Bills leadership guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces to your puzzle, but I still look at Jon, the father and the husband and the leader of teams of people that you work with to help build the businesses that you have. You do a lot of the work that you probably, at least that I'm proud to call my friend, you do a lot of that work behind the scenes. Not a lot of people know you as the stuff that you are actually doing on a daily basis. So for those that don't know, who's Jon Bebee? Although I did see a reel of like what you were like in the 90s. Pretty athletic, sir.
Just got to change the D to a J.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say.
My
like,
first name.
Little different. But tell us the story. Go ahead.
So, so the story of Jon Bebee, like behind the scenes. Can you ask that a little differently?
Who is Jon?
Guy who loves my kids, loves my wife, likes to care for people. To me, when I think of leadership, I think leadership isn't telling somebody to do something, but it's saying it's my job to make sure that you're able to be equipped to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, like thinking of like our staff we've had staff work for us, and it just wasn't the right fit, but we did everything we can because we went to them and we're like, hey, if you're missing in an area, if you're not, doing exactly what we want you to do, we go to them and we say, hey, this isn't happening. It's our job to make sure you're able to do that, to equip you. Mm-hmm. So how can we, as your leaders, help you get there? It's not our job to tell you to get it done. It's our job to make sure that you're equipped to be able to get it done. So we want to put relationship first. Me and Lauren, relationships are essential to us. I think that's one of the most important things in all of our lives is relationships.
And I can see that as a through line in your life in friendship and events and how you plan people's vacations and how you operate within the dynamic of rooms just to support people and how can I help. Even today when you came in, I'm like, hey, Jon, like, no, because I'm the host. You're here trying to help. And I'm just bang, 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 bang. And you're always looking to try to be like, how can I add value to the situation without causing anything to, be a hiccup? You're very, very thoughtful on experiences. Yeah. And I find that to be amazingly admirable for like me and any environment that I'm in with you. You're constantly thinking of other people. Were you always, I think people think of it as selfless, right? But I look at it as you seem to get a lot of value out of how to help others.
Yeah, and that's growing up. I had a rough life growing up. I grew up in a very like more abusive, relationship with my family, mm-hmm. and I never felt maybe that people were looking out maybe from my best interests. Mm-hmm. And what I want to do is I always knew what I needed, but I knew my needs were maybe not necessarily met by everybody else. So I had to figure out how to meet them myself. And I started to say, it would have been really cool if there was somebody to actually know what I needed relationally, emotionally, or even just for fun. Like to just know who I am and know what I needed enough where they would give that to me. So I think having that experience growing up, I became hypersensitive to other people's. And I'm like, if I can help that person have a better experience and let them know I notice and I'm going to help them. Like whatever, like if we're coming in here and we're saying like, hey, you said, hey, we're running a little over with that. I'm like, no big deal. I'm here just to be a part of this, to help. It's not about me. And at the end of the day, that builds me up because I think, you've heard the thing, it's better to give than receive. Yeah. I don't know about that because I do like receiving sometimes.
Of course,
you know what I mean? We all
you definitely are a giver. You are definitely someone who constantly, how can I help this situation by adding value?
But when you say it, sometimes we get more. Like you say, it is good to receive. Sometimes we get more when we give.
Of course.
Because when we're not getting something tangible, but we're getting something that we actually help give value to that person.
It's definitely more meaningful in my opinion.
Yes. And if I can give value to other people's lives, I mean, at the end of the day, if you can give, like speaking business-wise, entrepreneurship, if you can give value to somebody's lives, you're never going to be out of a job.
And that's kind of, you always want to look at like, where's your value? I always say like, if I could be dropped anywhere in the world, as long as there's a high performer or there's a person that is competing at some level in sport, I could reverse engineer a better competitive advantage than anyone else.
You're right. And you don't have to have the money to do it either. Like sometimes people are like, I don't have value to give because I don't have money. You have time? Maybe you don't have time. You have your knowledge. You can actually see things, recognize things, understand things. I was talking to somebody on the strip today when I was out there walking this morning, come back from breakfast, and he was a guy who was in a rough time. And I stopped and talked to him for a second. And I said, hey, your decisions you make, just make one decision today to help you get to the place that you want to get, because you have value. You're important, you have knowledge, you have things that you can give the world, and you are an important person. And if you take one step today to get closer to maybe that person that you quote unquote want to be, you're going to get to a better place. But you have to make that decision, but you are valuable. And the gentleman looked at me and he said, he like stopped. He stuck out his hand, he shook my hand, and he said, thank you. He said, thank you. He's like, most people just walk past me and don't say anything. But it's like, all of us are in that place. We all can make one decision today, tomorrow, and the next day. And a year from now, 6 months from now, we're either going to be a better person, a worse person, or we're going to be the same. But the decisions we make each day transform who we're going to be. And at the end of the day, I want to help other people make good decisions too, to see their lives get into a better place. So if we're giving value to people, sometimes it's just helping them know that they can make the right decision and they can make their lives better and they can be a better person. Because when that guy wins, when that guy's life is different in 6 months from now, that's going to make the world a better place, and we're all going to win.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's about.
How do you help them make better decisions? Because at the end of the day, those choices are true, right? We talk about staying on the green line, and they could either drift, they could be inconsistent through the lack of like sound decision making or indecisiveness, or they could be very decisive with their actions. And you want them to make a better decision. How can you help people make better decisions?
So for that person, it was a one-off conversation, obviously. But in general, I think being specific with people. Like, for instance, with that guy, if he was a friend of mine, I wouldn't just say, you need to, I encourage you to make better decisions. I'd say, where do you want to be a year from now? Mm-hmm. Or where did you want to be now, a year from now, but you're not there? Yep. And then I would ask questions. Like, so one of the things that I'm really big on is curiosity. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I'd have a direct answer for what I'd tell one person versus another person, but I'd ask questions to get to the right place. Because at the end of the day, I worked with middle and high school students for 14 years. I led teams of that mentored over 150, 200 students every week. And when I worked with them, the one thing we always did with students is we said they are going to be able to, if it's their answer, if it's not my answer telling them what to do, and you're a coach, you know this, if it becomes their answer and not your answer, it's going to stick so much more.
Yeah, the stickiness, the impact, the feel,
so
much better.
So if you ask the questions to them, try to get them to the right answer, and then you say, I feel like I hear you're saying this. So you're telling them without telling them, because you're hearing it in their voice, what they want or where they want to go. So instead of phrasing it like you need to do this, hey, I hear you saying this, and I hear you saying that this is probably your next step you need to make. Is that accurate? Yeah. That then allows them to own the answer. And now when you're following up with that person you're coaching, maybe it's a friend of yours, a family member, our kids that we lead, then you're able to say to them, okay, last week, a month ago, you said you thought this was the next step. What have you done? Or I've noticed you haven't done anything. How come?
So what you're describing is the cycle of coaching. Yeah. Without describing it in so many words, but I'll break it down so everybody could understand this. But basically, the first step is intellectual curiosity. Is somebody thinking, I grew up loving Curious George.
I did too.
I think it's like the coolest thing.
It was.
And I loved it, right? I loved all these other cartoons, but Curious George was just this idea of like, cool, let's call 911 and see what happens. And then you learn about you shouldn't
guy
do
with
that.
The yellow hat.
Exactly. And so you just learn all these things through exploration, and you can't explore if you're not curious. So everything starts with intellectual curiosity. And the second part is this aha moment. And it's this what we call the first mental change. So you have intellectual curiosity that explores the world and creates what's called discovery. And then you have this moment of like new information. You take a known to an unknown and you try to connect them. And now you have this awareness around new information. And then they basically are buying into that decision through a level of change. That change starts with a mental change. So there's a mental change that happens that says, I want to do it, but I haven't done it yet. And then there's the commitment. The third aspect of it is commitment. I've committed to doing something. That 3-phase process that you go through is all done without action. The next step is the commitment to the change through committing to the action. Once you commit to the action, the coach's job is to meet you with where you are and then get you to where you want to be. And then your job is to create a map for them, which is a better journey that's a little bit faster and a little bit cheaper, a little bit more affordable instead of the risk to their life, so that you can have a better experience. And then your job is to close that gap. This is what you do for people both in your leadership teams with Bebee's Bargains. This is what you do with your kind of boutique experience that you create for people going to Disney World. This is what you do with people that want to learn from you in a men's leadership environment, which I think is really, really valuable. And I find it's interesting that you lead a lot of women, but yet what you're doing is setting an example for other men to be empathetic and to be emotional with like their next step in their life. I think that's very inspiring too. Talk to us a little bit about, you talked about like your staff where your job is to equip them.
Yep.
With Bebee's Bargains, that team leadership, what does that look like on a daily basis?
So it's interesting because all of our staff is remote, which is very popular nowadays when we coming through 2020 and all of that. It changed a lot. But I think what's lacking
was it before 2020 remote too?
No, I'm just saying in the world.
No, but was
it
for
yes,
you?
It was.
So again,
yes.
That's why I'm asking is because people learned it in 2020.
Correct. Was
it always that way for Bebee's Bargains?
It was, but we brought on our first staff member in December of 2020.
Oh, okay.
So we brought it on.
Good timing.
During that. So it had to be that. But honestly, the way our business is structured, it was going to be that anyway. But what was nice was it was when everyone already knew that anyway.
Sure.
So the one thing I found we're very communal based. Like, it. I want to talk with somebody. I'm not like, I'll rather voice text you than, send you a regular text message. And I'll call people on the phone still. And people will be like, wait, people still call people on the phone? So
don't do that. Text me first.
And then you'll send us all kinds of audio messages.
Absolutely.
I love them.
There's a huge difference between synchronous and asynchronous communication.
You're right.
Is respecting your time and other people's time, but more importantly, respecting your mental energy.
Yes. And not feeling like you have to respond immediately, because sometimes you want to think about what the person's saying.
Absolutely.
So with our team specifically, the one thing I realized really quick when we started forming a team was I just thought it was going to work because I love people. It's going to be super easy. And then I quickly realized we're not in the same room. When I used to lead, in the business world or the organizational world, we're not in the same room. We don't see each other every day. We're not, grabbing coffee. We're not running out the door saying, hey, I'm going to get coffee. Anybody wants it? So you don't know what they likes and they dislikes. So we had to form more relationships, not just from like working relationships. So we had to understand, what do they like? What do they dislike? What's their favorite coffee? What's their favorite candy bar? Do they even like candy? Like, what's their favorite music? These type of things. Because then you can start to incorporate those things into your team meetings when you're on Zoom, or like you can randomly just ship things to their house for their birthday or whatever, because you're losing that physical touch, if you want to say, of being in a room, being in a space where you can see the person. So we're like, how can we do that? And we learned really quickly that our staff felt very distant.
Yeah.
And they started feeling not frustrated, but not understanding everything that we were doing. So what I started doing, we talked about it a minute ago. I started audio messaging. And then sometimes we'll get John, I saw your audio message. I don't have 3 minutes to listen to that. I'll listen to it tonight. And I'm like, great. It's for your time, so we don't all have to get on a phone. So we try to we don't get on Zoom all the time. We do quarterly Zoom meetings right now. We didn't used to do them regularly, but we decided we're going to do quarterly. We tried them once a month. It felt like too much based on what we do. So we do quarterly meetings, but we do a lot of audio messages all the time. We have a couple different group texts that people are in where they're conversing and they're talking with each other. If there's an issue, our staff knows we can get on the phone. We can get on a Zoom anytime we want. So we had to do that, and that was the most important piece. I mean, the work is there. We need to train them how to do it, but the important piece was creating that community. If your staff doesn't, one of our staff values is when it comes to working with our staff is we want to work. We don't want staff. We don't want like staff. We want people that could be our friends.
Okay.
So if you're coming on the Bebee's Bargains team, you need to be somebody that we can feel like can be our friend. Like, you want to feel like we can click with our culture, we can click with our, that we have the same chemistry together.
You're going to spend so much time with them that it's important that you actually like them.
And what I also found is that creates longevity for staff. Like when people wonder, why do I keep having so much staff turnover? I'm like, well, do you know your team? Like, do you know who they are? Are you bringing on people that feel like they fit in your culture? So we just had one lady step down. The first time we hired two of our team members. She was on that same round. She just had to step down because she got offered a full-time job somewhere. It's a great benefit for her family. It's within, she actually was volunteering at a church, and she was doing basically staff work. And they offered her a job, and she came to us the other day. Now, when somebody quits, they'll normally like put an email together formally. Simple. And that's like the formal, that's the acceptable thing to do. She's like, hey, John and Lauren, we get a text one night. Hey, John and Lauren, I had this opportunity come up. I want to talk to you about it. Do you have time to get on a phone call this weekend?
Oh, that's super important. And that just shows what you're building and what you have already built within the establishments of those relationships.
Yeah. And we said, yeah. We got on the phone. She told us it. There's two parts to this conversation. The one part is when someone calls you and they have an opportunity and they're going to say yes to it, there's two things that can happen because she's very valuable to our team. So there's that part of us where it's like, crap, we're losing a great team member and there's going to be a void. But then there's that other side of us, that human side. And this is the important part, is we need to remember when all of our positions right now, most of them are these ones that this woman was working in, is an entry-level position. There's not like, she's doing like the same thing every day. Like, and she's great at it. She's like a steady stream, if you want to say, and she's really doing a great job at it. But she's been doing that for years. And she comes to us and she says, I want us to, so the other side of it is, so the one is, this gap is going to be like that. We're going to have to fill this gap. But the other side of it is like, this woman is getting an amazing opportunity to do something she loves. Her role is not to own Bebee's Bargains. Her role is not to keep Bebee's Bargains going, but she has done that for 5 freaking years. And for us, it could be real easy for us to be like, crap, she's stepping away, and us to get selfish and be frustrated. Yeah. But my immediate response to her was that, Bethany, this is a great opportunity for you.
That's amazing.
And I'm really excited for you and your family. Because guess what? She wanted to call us on the phone. She knew we were going to be let down.
Yeah.
But she knew also that she can come to us with whatever. And when it comes to some of our staff, I've had those hard conversations with some of our staff members where they're not excited about maybe the direction or how they're feeling. And guess what? When a staff member tells me that, I need to look at that as gold. They're giving me gold, so that way, instead of me getting butthurt about it, they're giving me gold and saying, what can I take out of that? Now, is all of it going to be 100% true everywhere? No, but it is their perspective, and your perspective becomes your reality, so that's the reality they're living in.
Yeah, we say feedback's a gift.
It is. So, like, I'll just say this. Bethany and I have had such awesome conversations that have led to making our company better. And our company is in a better place because of some of the hard conversations I've had with her. And that led to her being with us for over 5 years. That's amazing. And I look at her and I'm like, most people don't last in corporate roles for 5 years, even if it's a corporate role that's getting way more benefits than we give our team. And I'm not saying we don't, but it's the type of positions they have. They're working from home. They got so much flexibility. And here's the thing. When we started hiring staff, Lauren started our business as a hobby. Make a little extra money for our family. We wanted to one day own a single family home because we didn't at the time. We had a backyard that was pavement. We also wanted to travel more to Disney World, which we love that. Hence, these are all a part of our businesses, which we love.
Makes sense. Yeah, you built a life of that is a lifestyle business.
Yes, that
you could be proud of.
And it also adds some benefits taxes wise. But
yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
So Lauren told me that that's what she wanted to do. One day own a single family home. We wanted to travel more and stop me from Ubering. Because at that point, I worked with middle school and high school students. I was a youth pastor, and I was pastor by day, driving drunk people around by night. It was a lot of fun. Oh, wow. Had people puke in my back seat, all of that. And she's like, I want to stop you from Ubering late at nights, so that way you can be a little more present at home. And also, she's like, I just want to do something. I want to contribute a little bit in this financial way. She contributes so much with our kids, but she's like, I think I want to do this. So when she started it, that was her goal, and she was like, stay-at-home mom. She loves being home with the kids. That's what she wanted. So when we started hiring staff members, we said, we want to hire staff members that have similar goals to Lauren, that want to be home with their kids a little more, want to have need a flexible schedule with kids. You know that. Yeah, crazy. Need a flexible schedule, and that we can provide for them a job. And we provide now what Lauren wanted to make per month. I was like, what's your goal, Lauren, to make per month? She's like, I don't know, maybe make a few $100, $400 or $500 a month, more a month. And, then we can do what we want to do with that. And now we provide that for all of our staff, makes more than Lauren wanted to make in 1 month for herself, extra for our family. And I look at that and I say, and we've hired a lot of moms now that have flexibility, and it makes me proud.
You should be.
That we can do that and help them. And it makes me so freaking proud to have a wife like Lauren who had this hobby that she wanted, and it turned into something that retired me out of my job, like what I was doing, that allows us to provide for our family.
It's also, making things affordable to people that they already need is very valuable to a lot of households.
Well, and that's the second side of our business.
Really cool. Yeah.
Our win was what we wanted. Like when you start a business or go after something, there's like, why do you want to do this, Lauren? Well, I want to get extra money for our family. Okay. What's the why for the people we're serving? There's two whys. There's a why for you, but then there's a why for the people you're serving. And they kind of get married between the owners. And our why for the people we're serving is we say, we want to save people, families, time and money on everyday products. That's with our Bebee's Bargains, so they can make more memories together.
That's amazing.
So they can use that time, use that money to make more memories together. And then we try to build all of this on a platform of community. We want to say, we don't just want to, we don't have followers on social media. We have community members, we call them. We don't say these are how many followers do we have. We say these are our community members, because these are people we want to get to know. Like there's some people in our groups, like this one lady, Karen. We have 73,000 in our Facebook group for Bebee's Bargains. We post 80 to 100 items a day. Random stuff for your house. Some of it you want, some of it you didn't know you wanted, some of it you need, some of it you're going to be buying anyway, and we save people money on this. We posted a ring once, and this one lady, Karen, she said, they don't have my size. I'm a size 4, and I can never find my size. So guess what? Like a week later, there's a post from one of our team members, and she tags Karen in it and said, hey, Karen, I found this, and there's a size 4. This ring comes in a size 4, and it's for you. 73,000 members in our group, and Karen got a personal post because we knew her ring size.
Like that is stuff that is, a great book, Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yeah, a great book.
You would not be able to get to that point unless there was actually an unreasonable level of care for other people. And this is the human part of the relationships that you do an amazing job with. I think I tell people in the world of sports is like, if you can make memories, you'll make money. And the best memory that you could make for an athlete is them achieving their goal through the hard work that they have. And I truly believe that you're able to help make more memories because you're saving money from people, and then, potentially give them that gift that you have of like enjoying Disney, because a lot of people go to Disney and they hate it, and every in and outs to make that happen at the luxury level. Same thing is for like Bills Mafia, right? Like you're a diehard Bills fan, which you guys are nuts. I've been in a lot of organizations and a lot of fan bases. There's nothing like the Bills Mafia. I'll tell you that. But
Mafia meets family relationships. That's where we're nuts. We're crazy.
They're nuts. It's really cool. But each one of these we could probably talk to for hours. I really want to kind of wrap up with the superhero questions that I ask everybody, and then I want to dive deeper into probably your Disney experiences on a separate conversation, and I probably want to have another conversation around like Bill's leadership, because I think it's so important that what you're doing too. But the questions that I ask people is, what are every superhero, Marvel, DC Comics, Batman, Iron Man, doesn't matter who you are, you stand for something. What does Jon stand for?
It's a great question. What do I stand for? I'm big into justice. I'm passionate about people, and when I see injustice, it frustrates the heck out of me.
He's Batman.
You want to see me curse? Like, you know me, I've said frickin' on here a couple times. I didn't say shit yet there. I said it. I don't curse that often.
No,
but you want to see
You're a good example verbally on how to articulate
You've said I'm like the nicest person. Like you've said like you're always looking out for stuff and things like that. Yeah. When there's injustice, go to a high school basketball game with me, and when the ref blatantly calls bad calls you're going to see me get frustrated for but that's a funny note. But when there's injustice, it bothers the crap out of me. And that's one thing I think that I really stand for. The other side of it too is when you're talking about superpowers or things like that, there's 3 superpowers in my life that I've realized have got me to the places that I am. And when I look at my life, it's always these three. We talked about one of them, it's curiosity. If you can be as curious as possible, be as curious as you can. If you do that, it will open doors for connections, and that's the second one. Finding connections, connecting ideas. Whether you have a problem and you're trying to solve it, whether somebody else has a problem, you can connect them to something. So it's solving ideas, connecting problems, connecting people. Connections are so important. But then the next thing is relationships. And when I say relationships, what I really mean is community. Is when you're curious as possible, you're going to be able to find connections. And those connections at some point, those human connections are going to become your closest community because you're going to realize that those are the people that you need to bring into your life. So many people in their lives, they bring just anybody into their life. And I'm all about being friends and being loving to everybody. But there's only certain people that need that get close access to me. Sure. And some of those aren't even my blood, okay? Because there's people that are my blood that I don't talk to anymore because they don't have access to me because they didn't meet that requirement to be able to actually pour into me and be that type of person that cares about the world in the way that you should. So all of that's really kind of sums up really who I am. But also, I'm a husband to Lauren. I have 3 amazing daughters. And I love to get to make memories with them. I'm a friend. Friend is one of my favorite titles. I mean, obviously dad, Lauren's husband. But friend is really important to me. Because at the end of the day, I think friendships are tighter than blood. And here's why I say that. Not that they are, but you and I aren't connected by blood. No. But we're connected by friendship. And do you know what we had to do to that? We had to make a choice. And there's so many times that we were just friends with our family or somebody in there because, that's just because they're our family, they're our blood. But for me, I say, those friendship connections, I love when I get to call my friend my family. And I get to say, that's my brother. That's my sister. That's a friend. That's friends that become family. We throw this big party every 4th of July. It's one of my favorite times of year. Not because it's 4th of July. I'm not knocking 4th of July. The reason why it's one of my favorite times of year is we throw a party in our backyard that we have now because Lauren started this business.
That's so cool.
And now we have a backyard. We put a pool in our backyard. We don't just have a backyard. We were able to put a pool in it, thankfully. And it's just been a huge blessing. And we invite all these friends that we call that we think are like our family, close.
You've created your family.
Yes. And there's some blood there, family. Yeah. But when I look around at 4th of July, I'm filled with such gratitude because I look around and say, this is who Jon Bebee is. Nice. He's a friend. He's a family member. He's going to be there for you. He's going to care about you. And he's going to say, go Bills, every freaking chance he gets.
No, he does. He does.
I went to Valley of Fire yesterday. I flew in early yesterday. Went into Valley of Fire State Park. Towards the back of the park, license plate in front of me, Bills Mafia. I started doing the bump, 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 the go Buffalo beep. The guy didn't know what was going on. I pulled up next to him. He's like, you all right? I'm like, go Bills. And he immediately changed his whole tune.
Everything changed. Everything changed. Yeah.
So that's really who Jon Bebee is. I think 4th of July really brings that to a head when I look around and I say, it's not about me. It's about all these people. It's bringing these people together and creating community in the world, wherever we go, creating connections, being curious, and getting to know people.
I think you summed it up well. And thank you. And thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
It's an honor here, too. I apprate it.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Kev.